Hello, fellow wanderers. I'm Endri, and thank you for joining me as we wander through something new. Well, mostly new. Dragon Quest XI echoes an exclusive age, and yes, there is no music on that title screen. Why? Because it was deafening me. And to demonstrate how ridiculous that is, yeah, it was at minimum and still deafening me. Whew boy, welcome to console ports, right? And it's still pretty loud. Anyway, this is Dragon Quest XI, and I'm just going to kind of jump right into it. Use an unused venture log. I have played through about 85% of this game. I did not complete the game completely, because I wanted to leave a few surprises for myself in the future. And one of the first things we're going to do here is set up some draconian quest options. No fleeing from battle. You could always remove these later if you want to. You just can't add them in once they've been removed, and you do need to start with them. So the first thing we're going to do is we're saying no fleeing from battle. Honestly, we shouldn't need to flee from battle, but we'll keep in mind that we've got that disabled. I'm not doing no shopping. It ruins my ability to complete the item list, among other things, so no. No armor is terrible, because for the sole reason, that you can't use the costumes, because the costumes are all armor, basically. So I don't want to do that one. Reduce experience from easy fights. Yeah, I like that one. It keeps me from falling back on grinding. And all enemies are super strong. By super strong, they mean 20% stronger, but that's good enough. And then there's Shy Pox. I'm good. I don't want that much randomness in my game. Thank you much. But there we go. We've got our character set up here. And let's go ahead and start the game. Display settings here. Do I have any weird color banding going on? Does not look like it. We'll go with that. That's fine. It looks bright enough. Maybe a little too bright, really, but bright enough. YouTube will darken it up nicely. Anyway, Dragon Quest XI is a traditional JRPG, and I mean traditional turn-based JRPG. And I'm going to talk right over this cutscene. Or I'm not, because that's super loud.
Storms are coming. Oh, I better go. Oh no.
So anyway, little black thing there is actually really important. We'll see more of him much later, really. Now we're going to have some talking.
This child, he is the one?
He bears the mark. There's no mistaking it.
I think ominous tidings are coming forth for that child. Just a guess. Another guess, that child is probably our character. That's not good. Fire usually isn't. Oh, there was a nice bit of lag. This cutscene and my computer do not get along, and I do not know what is up with that, so I apologize for the jitters that are about to occur. It's basically just this cutscene. I blame all the water. And the incredibly loud music.
Huh? Oh my. What in heavens are you doing here? And after that awful storm, too. However did you survive? Oh, you're a jolly one. What's this? Oh, you poor thing. Come here. Come here. Oh, there's no need to be frightened anymore. You're safe now, little fellow.
Okay, so that was our introduction. Anyway, several years later, like I was saying, this is a traditional JRPG, turn-based and everything. And don't worry, we've got more talking cutscenes coming up right now. It's a pretty game, too. Character designed by Akira Toriyama, like all Dragon Quest games.
Thanks so much. You're a lifesaver. Trust me to lose my headscarf just before the big ceremony. So it's finally here, the big day. I can't believe we're going to be climbing all the way up there. Looks like Sandy's keen to lead the way. Come on, best not keep her waiting.
Anywho, voice acting, which is also nice, because I don't have to talk as much. Anyway, turn the voices down just a tad too. I don't know why the sounds are so loud. I'll probably have to do some volume adjustment in a bit. Coding Quest display. Let's go ahead and turn that off because you all don't need to know how I'm doing in that regard. I am playing with a Xbox controller, by the way. Graphics, I've got it turned to pretty medium quality, so I'll probably turn it up now that the initial cutscene's done. I tried to avoid as much judder as I could. We'll do freeform fighting, just for fun, and we can control the camera. I'm not going to worry about automatic camera, I don't think. That's all good. And let's go down here and claim our special rewards. So these are rewards gotten for pre-ordering the game. And I think... So this is for pre-ordering on Steam. If you're playing on a different version of the game, you get different rewards. And... I think this is for paying for the special edition version of the game, I believe. I will be claiming both of these. The major reason is the stuff you get for these are not exclusive to these. You can get them later in the game. You can get infinite seeds of skill later. You can also get the Wings of Serendipity at a later point, and the Wings of Serendipity really aren't that good. We'll check our attributes here. Look at our character. We can check our equipment here. First things first, we can choose between a great sword or a normal sword, where we could equip a shield. I'm going to do great swords because I'm going to do a great sword build this run. And if we look in our inventory, I believe everybody gets access to these, which are the Troidian Bandana, which gives us a little more defense and a little more MP, and the Troidian Togs, which are a little more defense and a little more HP, and are also our first costume set. We now look like the main character from Dragon Quest VIII. I am going to be using the Supplicant and Healer from my upgrade to the special edition version of the game. Just for a little boost in the early game. Supplicant here gives you 1 MP per round in battle. Healer gives you, I believe, 3 HP. And they give you a little bit of defense and charm. Charm is used for a couple of quests, but not much else. If we look at our item back here, I've got 18 Seeds of Skill. That's quite a few. And, pardon me, hitting the mouse there. And then our accolades. I will probably use those Seeds of Skill. I need to know exactly how many to use on each character, because there is a maximum useful amount of them. You could farm more later, but why farm more than we have to, right? And we do get changed equipment, so our weapons do change based on what we equip, and they're all very unique. And we can run around, and we can jump. So that's it. And we can talk to people. I'm going to let the text scroll, and if you want to read it, by all means, feel free to read it. Important NPCs are voiced as per usual. And this is a person just telling us basically, run around and look around and you can find some things. And there are a lot of things to find. A lot of things to find. Yeah, there's a big thing in the town of us be the potential suitor for Gemma there. Gemma? Is it Gemma? I've already seen it on screen like a dozen times and I've already forgotten. I'm pretty sure it's Gemma. Sometimes when you walk up to people, you'll see a little blurb there. And yeah, we're climbing the tower because it's tradition, and no one will tell us what it is. Something tells me they're not going to expect what we're going to get. So this is our mother. Sort of. If you couldn't tell, we were the baby in the Moses basket there. And yeah, so this is our adopted mother. And she was just telling us how, you know, people with these exclamation marks are important to talk to. They'll give us some important information. People with the blues, bloody bells. And it's Gemma's grandmother. So people with the just the blue smiley faces, they're just people you could talk to. So there you go. You don't have to talk to them. I'm going to talk to them so that you can see the text if you want to. But this is all just people wish us well. Oh, no, sorry. This is our adopted mother right here. The person back there was, I don't remember. And this is Dunstan, who is the leader of the village and also Gemma's grandfather. Yeah. And yep, everyone's just wishing us to head to the top. And giving us our instructions, basically. Yep, that's our adopted mother. That person down there, I think, is just a villager. Whoops. It's been a few months since I played the game, folks. Pardon my mistakes. This is a priest. We will be seeing a lot more of them. I'm definitely going to turn the graphics up after this, because I should be able to handle the in-game graphics a little nicer than this. It's a little blurry to me. So many well-wishers. And we've lost a boy. Certainly that's not foreshadowing. And, yep, we gotta climb all the way up to the top of that rock, which is the Tor.
Humble folk of cobblestone, great land spirits, hearth and home. That's how it goes, isn't it?
Also British voice acting.
My granddad's been teaching me the prayer ever since I was little. He reckons the spirit of the land really does live on Cobblestone Tor, you see. As long as I can remember, he's been preparing me for this day. The day it would finally be my turn to climb all the way up there and offer my thanks. I just wonder whose idea it was in the first place, sending the village's young folk on such a dangerous errand. What if I take a tumble and do myself a mischief? Well, not to worry. Since you and me were born on the same day, I'm lucky enough to have a bodyguard along for the journey. Come on then. That craggy old thing won't climb its... Oh.
Oh dear. It's adorable. That's what it is.
Ah! Monsters! They're coming this way.
Yes, they are. They, not much of a threat. So here we go. We can move the camera around a little bit if we want to. We can look at our tactics here. We are currently set to follow orders. We could tell them to fight wisely, mix it up, don't use MP, focus on healing, but for the moment we're going to follow orders. This will not always be the case. So once we've done that, if we had him set to a particular tactic, at this point it would take over auto control. But we could defend, look at our equipment here. We could swap it out if we wanted to. We don't need to at the moment though. But we can attack, so let's go ahead and hit the slime.
Crikey! Crumbs!
And Gemma is very vocal. And we've got Sandy helping us. So Sandy there is going to go ahead and freeze the slime. Guest characters don't die. So don't worry about Sandy getting beaten down until he can't take another hit. He'll be fine.
Go on!
Combat is cyclical, somewhat based on your agility. The more agility you have, the more likely you are to act early in the cycle. But it is also semi-randomized at the start of every cycle, so do keep that in mind.
Phew.
And we get a treasure chest with medicinal herbs, some gold, and some XP.
Crikey! I wasn't expecting that. I know they were only little, but I'd have been done for if you and Sandy hadn't been here to help me.
So it's in our best interest to abuse guest party members whenever possible.
And now we've got to go through that horrible dingy cave. Just our luck. I'll bet you anything that's where those awful things came from. Well, as long as you're with me, I've got nothing to worry about. Come on, let's get going.
Okay. So yeah, guest party members make this pretty easy, and my supplicant and healing will definitely speed that up, but here's our first hidden treasure. Very nice. Pot lid, put in the equipment bag. So as you can see here, we've got our inventory. So anything in our inventory we can access during combat. So I'm going to go ahead and transfer that to the equipment bag. I don't need it during combat. We'll keep the sword. I'm not going to keep the sword. I'm never going to use that sword, so we'll just put it there. I will not be selling that sword because it is a unique item. I don't believe we can ever get another one. Which comes down to when we look at our info. We can look at our item list, our weapons, swords, so we can see our sword there. And there's no, cannot be bought, cannot be sold. I can't even sell it actually, come to think of it, because it's our default weapon. So there's our list of things. Recipes, materials, important items. We'll see all of these in more detail later. Defeated monster list will show us the monsters we can encounter in this general area. So here we can encounter slimes, and one more enemy we'll encounter later. And these can drop medicinal herbs, that's their common, or slime drops, which is their rare. I do not know the exact rate of common to rare drops. It's not tremendously bad with slimes, but for some enemies it's significantly rarer. Or more rare, however you want to put it. So we can't quite do first strikes yet. We'll see that in a minute here. I believe it will tutorial. Over there in the lower right hand corner you can see where it had the autosaves, so you do have autosaves. It's actually rather hard to lose a battle permanently in this game, so don't worry too much about it. And the game is very pretty. I do like this game. Before we go over there, let's hop up here. It pays to explore everywhere pretty thoroughly. So if we come back here, we're going to find our first sparkle. So there are ground sparkles. They are kind of neat, but we can't really do much with them at the moment. There's our map. So, yeah, we'll get into ground sparkles in a bit. Basically, they show up and they refresh from time to time. And they're how we get our crafting items. Sometimes we also get items like that herb. And there we go. Since we whacked the slime, he's going to take 1 damage at the start. I don't know if both of them do or if just one of them does. I really haven't looked into it that much.
Crumbs!
Now, we are not strong enough to one-shot these yet, but don't worry, we'll get there.
Crikey!
Combat's pretty simple at this
Go
point.
on!
And we get, oh, slime drops. We actually got their rare, which is, I believe, used for crafting. Hold on a second. Right resolution. I could put it on borderless. Should put it on borderless. I'm gonna flicker a little bit. Thank you. And what I really want to see is, shouldn't this be at 100? And it's fine. That's where I would like it. Shadow quality at 2 is fine. Post processing 2. Did that make everything a little sharper to you guys? It looks like it made everything a little sharper to me. Yeah, that looks a little sharper. Maybe I'm just imagining it now.
Crumbs!
So let's go ahead, since we've got our 2 party members here, let's go ahead and show off tactics, because I don't need to keep clicking buttons. I say don't use MP. And when I close that window now, you'll see that we go instantly into battle. We can interrupt that at any point by pressing Y. And when our next turn comes around, it'll go ahead and pull that up. But
Go on!
kill them in 1 shot. Nice.
Tough little blighters, aren't they?
I love the fact that everything's in British English. So it's because this was localized more for a international audience than a American audience. This game has never done particularly well in American audiences, or the series I should say. But it's not done particularly poorly, and I love this series. I think the thing I love about this most is that it's still a turn-based JRPG. And so many modern RPGs, especially AAA titles,
So proud of you.
they aren't turn-based anymore. They're all action RPG hybrid monstrosities like Final Fantasy 15, and this game isn't, and I love it. And we just got a new spell. It's a battle spell, and I'm not going to worry about using it right now. Don't worry, you'll see it in a little bit, but there's no point wasting it on these slimes. Yeah, it looks a little better now. We'll keep the graphic settings how they are right now.
Crikey!
Super detailed shadows don't really interest me any. And from now, we'll pretty consistently be able to one-shot these guys, I think.
Go on!
Which is good.
Tough little
One thing
blighters,
to keep in
aren't
mind,
they?
just because of the decisions I made with the settings, we're not going to get XP off slimes for very long. In fact, I believe level 3 is the last level you can get XP from slimes. So don't expect to be seeing that for very long. And I think the highest level we could even get in the opening part of the game is like 5.
Phew.
And there will be points where I'm going to have to grind up to max level to beat the next boss. Mostly in this early part of the game because you don't have a lot of options. These are needlers. Needlers are super annoying.
Get him!
And you'll probably see why in a second here. Oh, you aren't. Well, not for this one. Oh, that's why. Medicinal herbs. Yep, they could use herbs
Go on!
to heal themselves or their buddies in combat. But thanks to Sandy here, this is a pretty easy fight.
Get him!
These are much more annoying when you're by yourself. Decent XP off of them. If we go to our info here, Needlers are the other enemy here. We can get medicinal herbs from them as they're common, or lambswool as they're rare. We don't particularly have a use for the lambswool at this point. If we go to our left, we will get to the end of the dungeon. And if we come down here, we'll see another staple of Dragon Quest, which is breaking pots to get stuff. Get a few gold coins, get a medicinal herb. Can't complain about that. And we just continue our way towards the end of the dungeon. Another gather spot here. Chunk of copper ore, that will be useful later, not now. Them seeing us does not determine whether or not the enemy gets a first turn or a not first turn. Or if we do extra damage to them. That's all based on whether we strike them for the extra damage. As you saw there, the enemies are capable of wasting their turns.
Get him!
And we are generally smart enough to attack weakened enemies when we've got partners like this, which is nice.
Go on!
But we're not in any real great danger at the moment.
Tough little blighters, aren't they?
And we got that medicinal herb. I was kind of hoping we'd get a lambswool just to get their rare drop. I'm not going to worry about getting every enemy's common or rare drop. It's listed right there for you in case you want it. An ominous fog.
Core, look at all this fog. Is this normal, do you think?
No.
Help! Help me! What? Cole?
A child in distress?
Quick! You have to help him!
Alright, but you gotta help out too, because
It's not fog at all. It's more monsters.
it is. This is our first boss fight. Honestly, it's not that bad. So we'll go back to follow orders, because this is technically a boss fight. Let's show off Frizz.
Get him!
12 damage, pretty good. We want them to attack Sandy often as possible, because I'd really rather not die in the tutorial boss battle. Fairly unlikely that we will, but
Go on!
keep in mind that Gemma there will throw healing herbs on us if we get low. She can also give us files,
Get him!
single files. Oh yes, by the way, puns. There are so many puns. But she could toss us a single file, which will restore our MP. So feel free to go all out on this fight. There's no reason to hold back.
Don't give up!
Yep, single file. I hope you guys like puns, because it's all puns. It's a Dragon Quest game. Their localization team loves puns.
Phew.
And we'll get to some better ones later.
Done.
Here we are, level 3.
I'm sorry, Gemma. I only came up here because I thought it'd be funny to jump out and surprise you. But then those monsters appeared.
What in the world is going on? I never heard anything about monsters appearing on the tour before. But never mind that now. Whatever were you thinking? You could have been killed.
Yes, Gemma. Sorry, Gemma.
You saved my bacon again. I knew you were tough, but crikey, you really have grown into quite the hero.
That's my class, actually. The hero class. I don't know how you know
Not
that.
far to the top now.
And it begins to rain.
Typical. It would have to go and start raining, wouldn't it? Come on, let's get a move on.
Alright, so it's raining. That doesn't actually mean anything. Come over here. We can find a piece of pink pine. I don't remember how long it takes for those things to refill. It's not very long. And yeah. So, climbing tutorial. And up we go. I could have read that sign, but it really doesn't say a whole lot except, hey, you might want to keep climbing. And we do. And if you come out to a narrow ledge here, you'll sidle along it automatically. And your party will just disappear and reappear on the other side because they have magical teleporting powers that you don't get. We could climb down. Or we could jump. There's no fall damage, so, you know. We do have to climb up this, though. So do keep that in mind. And here we go. We're almost ready for the next major cutscene block. There's a few of them in the beginning, not too many. So what do we have out this way?
Here we are at last.
Mm-hmm.
It's such a shame about the weather. I was really looking forward to that view.
Oh, let's see if we can fix that for you.
Well, we better say the prayer and get this ceremony over with, eh? What was that?
That sounded like a giant bird.
Help! Help me! Help! Help!
Jim's got some good grip strength there, really. And here comes the bird. And kazap. No, literally, that's the name of the spell. Kazap. And that's one fried bird.
We're alive. But how? That great big flash of lightning. It was almost like you made it happen.
I did.
Look, the mark on your hand.
Yeah, it's Mark. It's glowing. Oh, it's dull again.
Oh, it stopped. Well, we can worry about that later.
Yeah.
All I know is that you saved me yet again. I don't know what I'd do without you. Now, we really had better be finishing up this ceremony. Humble folk of cobblestone, great land spirits, hearth and home. Lift your voices up in prayer, sing it across all our drear. Blessed are we since days of yore, let it be so forevermore.
I just like that they had to super British up that pronunciation to make it rhyme.
Wow! Look!
And there's our view of the sea over there. I think that's the sea. I don't think you can see the
It
ocean
just
from
goes
here.
on and on and on. Whoever dreamed up this ceremony must have had this in mind. They wanted to show us how huge our world really is. Well, that's it. It's all over and now we're grown-ups. Should we head down and tell Grandad and everyone? They'll all be waiting for us at the bottom.
Yep. So now we can head back out of here. Before we do, somewhere around here, I'm sure there's a... Yep, there it is. Last gatherable, another pink pine. And like I said, those will come back over time, but pink pine isn't anything to really worry about. So yay, we're adults now. Good girl. Yeah, I mean, at least you know you're an idiot. Uh-huh. Yep. You owe me one, but don't worry. You won't feel obliged for too much longer. Because I'm going to rob you all blind. Because I'm the protagonist of a JRPG. I did. Oops. I kind of forgot that if you press any buttons, it scrolls the text, which is kind of neat for speed running, but this is not a speed run. Yep. And you can see there, we can see part of their conversations as we approach.
We're back safe and sound, Grandad.
Indeed you are, my dear. Thank the spirits for that.
No, thank me.
When we saw lightning striking up there, we got a little worried, I have to tell you. Well, I never. Sounds like it's nothing short of a miracle that you made it back in one piece. Well, there's no doubt about it, the spirit of the land was watching over you. Now tell me, my dear, how was the view from the top?
It was wonderful. I saw the sea stretch into the horizon and the sunlight playing on the water and... Oh, I've never seen anything like it in my life.
You're true Cobblestonians now. Only we have the pleasure of looking out over the world of Erdrea in such breathtaking fashion, you know. You're still young, and the day may yet come when you decide to leave Cobblestone behind.
I'm thinking tomorrow.
I hope our little ceremony has opened your eyes to a little of what may await you out there. Now, it's high time we were heading back. I'm sure your mother is eager to hear how things went, young man. Don't keep poor Amber in suspense.
Come on, you. Home time.
Yes, home time. And we get little tips during the loading screen, which is kind of neat. So here's our home, Cobblestone. Place your bets now for how idyllic this place will remain throughout the course of the game. I'm not taking that bet, by the way. So there's another accolade. We cannot go back out here. So maybe it's not tomorrow that we leave. Maybe it's the day after. I don't remember. Yep, we could go put our feet up and do all that kind of stuff, but no. I'm thinking we're going to climb a ladder. There is stuff all over towns. And I will probably miss a few things. I'll try not to. I'll try to be pretty exhaustive in my searches. I do have a bunch of maps that have stuff marked, but it's a little bit hard for me to read them sometimes. So we come up here, we get some gold coins, And a chunk of copper ore. And a seed of agility. For the sake of this, this playthrough, I am pretty much going to be using the seeds on the main character. I don't believe they're randomized at all in this version of the game. Or in this game, words I would have used. Not this version of the game, there's only one version of the game. In this Dragon Quest game, I don't believe seeds are randomized. I think you just get 2s or 3s or however many you're supposed to get. I could be wrong. Back here, we have a door. We cannot open that door. But remember that symbol for later. It will probably come up. And by probably, I mean it will definitely come up. So we can run around town here a bit and vandalize things. 2 gold coins, that's, you know, better than nothing. Heliodor would be the major city for this area. This right here is the item shop. It is not at present, I believe, open. Yep. Can't do any shopping or anything here today, but that's alright. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Grass of the World tree. That will be important. This is a Yggdrasil root. We'll find out more about Yggdrasil roots in the near future. So that was a horse. There are horses in this game. Do keep that in mind. It might be important. Probably won't be, but it might be. Oh, let's see here. Where else do we want to go? Another horse. And if we just kind of wander around, we'll find some more stuff. This is the church. And if we break stuff outside the church, we'll get some gold. Fair enough. Let's stop by. So the Spirit of the Land is a big deal here, but not so much for us. That'll get us an antidotal herb, might be useful. Poison does show up fairly early in this game. We can't go in there yet. We might be able to get into there later at some point. The church, by the way, is where you save, among other things. The other thing is in this game, you don't know how much XP you have until you level inside a status screen, so you have to go to the church to find that out. And we get a medicinal herb from crawling up here. So climbing up buildings is sort of important. In this chest, we get a cypress stick. Cypress stick is the weakest weapon in the game. I don't know why they have it right there. We will never use it. Ever. But we've got it. I mean, honestly, if you don't believe me, cypress stick is super weak. That being said, we'll keep it because I want to upgrade it eventually just to complete the upgrade path. So there are monsters attacking. And if we come in here, we are, by the way, a terror. Dursta's Cookie Compendium. The puns keep flooding into my mind. I've never experienced anything like it. We could show the visitors around the Great Stone Spire beyond the village and call it the Cobblestone Tour. Mother said she'd throw her son down from a cliff. We didn't use vegetables, but it was a bluff. Huh? So the mayor likes puns. Well, well. I don't think I could properly express how much that doesn't surprise me. Oh, nothing up there? I thought there was an item somewhere around here. Am I mistaken? Well, let's talk to the grandfather, shall we? By the way, we're a terror. We bump into something and you break it. That's just all there is to it. I could swear there was a medical herb up here. I could be wrong. Oh no, it was on the roof. It was a collectible. I'm being silly. I already picked it up and just forgot. As you can see, there is a day-night cycle in the game. It's kind of cool. Certain monsters only appear at night. And somehow, young child, I don't think you're going to grow up to be as big and strong as I am, because I am pretty strong. But I guess we shouldn't shatter dreams. But yay, grateful parents. And in here we have, well, more robbery, basically. There actually is something over there we want, but we can't quite reach it from here. And I might not talk to everybody in town, because most of them don't say anything important. Apologies if that ruins your immersion, but no, really, there are tons of people in this town. Hi, Sandy. I don't care. Horses are pretty good, and apparently we are really good at riding horses. This will come up later, I'm sure. Did I mention that I'm a terror? Alright, there's not a whole lot more we can collect. Keep in mind when you've got boxes like this, it usually means there's something up here. Grab that pink pine, just good to have. I don't even remember what those are used to make. And yeah, I don't think we're going to be hopping up there. And I don't believe there's anyone in here of consequence. There's no items or anything. You preferred being young and single, eh? Yeah, like most Dragon Quest games, the Age of Monsters has appeared. But, you know, it wouldn't be much of a game if there were no monsters around, right? So like it said, if we follow the cobblestone path, we will end up at home. I don't quite want to end up at home yet, though. So let's see here. If we head out over here. There we go. Jug of fresh water. That's useful for something, I'm sure. And all the rest of the items should basically be in or around our house. And I don't even know if I can get back up here. Can I? We have pretty good hops, but yep, good enough. Couple barrels. Most of the time you only ever get one item out of a barrel. But, you know, I break them all anyway. Just in case they buck the trend. So, like always, when you've got a thing like this, hop up. Flurry Flutter. And 50 gold coins. Awesome. We'll take. Let's see here. Anything else before we head into home? Nope.
Oh! Here's my little soldier. Well, not so little anymore. I've heard all about your big adventure. Look at you, all grown up. I hope he wasn't too much of a bother, Gemma dear.
Of course not. Quite the opposite, in fact. You would have been proud of him. We got attacked by a monster at the top of the tour, and I ended up hanging onto the edge of the cliff by my fingertips. I thought I was done for. But you'll never guess what happened next. That mark on his hand suddenly lit up, and a bolt of lightning hit the monster.
What did you say? That funny little mark? Lightning flying about the place? Goodness me. Here I was hoping he'd turn out nice and ordinary, but it seems his grandfather was right all along.
As grandfathers usually are.
Well, I've been putting this off for long enough now. You and me need to have a little talk. Here. This belongs to you.
Plot MacGuffin.
Your grandfather asked me to give you it once you'd come of age and climbed the Tor. The truth is, there's something I've been keeping a secret all these years. Something I've never told another soul in the village. It's... how can I put this now? Well, he said you're the reincarnation of the Luminary.
Gasp.
What?
Oh, don't ask me what the old fool meant, dear. I haven't got the foggiest. All I know is that your grandfather said you had a special destiny, and that there was something you had to do. He said that when you came of age, you were to head north to the capital, up there in Heliodor, and show that necklace thingy to the king. He seemed to think that if you did that, all would become clear. Clear as mud, I shouldn't wonder. Anyway, the long and short of it is that if you want to find out what this is all about, you'll have to leave Cobblestone and head over to Heliodor.
Crikey.
Well, I can't stop you leaving, I'm sure, but you won't be marching on an empty stomach. Come on, dinner.
Yep, we're the reincarnation of the Luminary. It is not the next day because we did not hear the sleeping music, and you would know the sleeping music from any other Dragon Quest game if you played one. Let's head up here real quick. I think there might be something up here we can loot. Maybe? Yep, here we go. Gold coins. Nice. Not that I particularly need them for anything right now, but it's good to have them. You cannot loot the stuff on the walls, which is kind of unfortunate, but you know. Set of plain clothes there for us. And a medicinal herb. So here we are. It's nighttime. There's not a lot we can do. However, you can see a purple dot, or pink dot. I guess it's pink, which kind of tells us, hey, plot important thing over this way. So let's talk to Gemma.
Oh, can't sleep either, eh? You remember this tree, don't you?
Yes.
I got my scarf stuck in it all those years ago. There I was, crying like mad, and there you were, running round trying to help me get it down. Some things never change, eh?
Pretty
You know,
much.
I always imagined we'd spend our whole lives right here in Cobblestone.
Yeah, nope.
That's why I was so surprised by what your mum said today. All that stuff about you being the Luminary, that reincarnation thing. I remember the story my granddad told me. Once upon a time, long, long ago, the world was terrorized by a horrible monster. But then, the luminary appeared and saved the day. When it was all over, the luminary turned into a star. And he's been watching over us from up in the heavens ever since.
So take that star, and put a pin in it. Right next to the pin that you put the little black thing from the opening cutscene in. And remember that for way later.
That's his star, right there. How can you be the luminary too? I just don't get it.
Well, that's why it's called reincarnation.
I know. That's what you're going to Heliodor to find out. I understand, really I do. Listen, we should both be getting back. Everyone will be wondering where we've got to. Goodbye, old friend.
Aww. Poor Gemma. There's the music. Now this cutscene's not going to make a lick of sense.
Well, just look at you. You don't scrub up too bad, you know. Only wish your grandfather were here to see you. You won't forget him, will you? He was a fine, upstanding man, the pride of the village. You could do worse than try to be like him. Well, however you turn out, I'm sure you'll find a way to overcome whatever lies ahead. A mother knows these things. Oh, by the way, I've popped a little money I'd saved for a rainy day in your pack. Don't spend it all at once.
Oh, don't worry, I already took the 50 on top of the farmhouse.
Why don't you visit the village shop before you head off to Heliodor? You'll need some supplies for your big adventure. But don't take too long. The whole village is turning out to wave you off.
Right. So some things have changed in the village now that it's a new day. We've got all sorts of things to deal with. We see a purple marker down there along with a pink one. But I think before we do that, this video has been going on for near on an hour now. So before we do our final round of the village and say our goodbyes and all of that, we will head over to the church and I'll show off the church. Seems like a good place to end off. This is the church. So from here, we can do confession. We'll check our logs. So we do have a start of the game save there. We're going to go ahead and put an actual proper save down. It does autosave, so don't worry if your game crashes or something. You don't usually lose that much time. I'll continue on for a little bit, just because I want to show off some more things. Divination here. We need 15 more XP to reach the next level. Not too much more. Resurrection is for party members. We don't have any. Purification is to cure poison. It's okay if you don't have an antidote, I guess. Benediction is to remove curses. I think I had to get all the way to post-game before I got cursed the first time I played through most of it. And Absolution will remove our Draconian quest restrictions, which we do not want to do. But I think with that, we'll save exploring the rest of the town and getting our quest officially started for next time. So until our paths cross again, have fun and stay safe, everyone.